$100 billion, and your whole thing is, let's just give him headphones. This will be good. They were not thrilled by that, by the way. They were actually insulted.
He's a little bit of an Asperger, and I can totally see how that was in an Asperger's mind, a solution.
Yeah.
Well, give him headphones.
I don't think he meant it as a slight. I think
in his brain,
in his brain, I'm doing something kind to you. I'm trying to stop you, even though for the last 14 years you've argued about me doing shit. But I'm trying hard to come up with a solution. The best solution I come up with is headphones.
Here, I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you really good ones too.
Yeah, they're really good. They're not cheap.
Here you go.
I got these on the airplane on the freaking Sky Mall.
Exactly.
They're like $800.
Exactly. Dude,
so what shirt are you wearing?
Jeans.
What shirt are you wearing?
Captain America, the original, the real Captain America, not this Falcon that wants to be Captain America.
I can't. Don't even get me started on that insanity.
This is Steve Rogers.
So wait a minute. This guy's already the Falcon, but now you're going to make him Captain America? So he's Captain Falcon?
He's Captain Falcon. Falmerica. Falcon. I guess Falcon and America could go fit together. Falcon. Actually, he's culturally appropriating the position of Captain America.
Steve Rogers?
No, Steve Rogers wasn't. The Falcon is.
I'm just like, dude, but you're already the Falcon. Like, what could he do that the Falcon couldn't do?
Oh, the Falcon can't do half of what Steve Rogers had. Super serum potion, so he had super strength, super everything.
Did they give him super serum too?
No, the Falcon just has mechanical wings, kind of like Iron Man.
Did they give when he became the Captain America? They didn't even give him that. They wouldn't even allow that.
So the idea that he could fight the Red Hulk is ridiculous, because even Captain America couldn't fight the Hulk. They could go, could tingle, but he had super soldier serum. And I am being super geeky, but it's true. It's true. All the Falcon has is his wings, which were like kind of Tony Stark has Iron Man outfit. He doesn't have any superpower. He has the Iron Man suit. But you're like, but yeah, dude, you don't have the strength of Steve Rogers because you don't have the serum. But I have to believe you can do everything plus fly, and no, you can't. Just be the Falcon, because I love the Falcon. He was cool, too.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like, that's not even, that's exactly a bizarre thing.
It's like if you put, if you said that all of a sudden someone was Superman just because he had a jetpack. Well, it doesn't make him Superman. He doesn't have the speed and the strength and all that. No, he's still Superman.
No, you got to have all the stuff.
Yeah. That's for our geek moment. And we can go deep into the geek moment.
You can. Watch this. Ladies, sit back and relax.
Sit back.
Serious. It's about to get serious. Right
I can go deep into that.
Wow. It was because I was like, I'm watching a bunch of movies. Did you see was it Susu? Remember that show? The movie about the crazy was he Danish? And the Germans try to steal all of his gold. And it's in the World War II.
That was fun.
They just did number 2.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he's going to Russia now to kill the freaking Russians who killed his family.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It was. You know what? It did really poorly, but Nobody 2 was fun.
Yeah,
it was. It remind me of a little bit of the A-Team, and that's a good thing. You know how the A-Team, they'll go to a little town and someone thinks they'll mess with them. They don't realize they're messing with the A-Team.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing. Or the old karate kung fu.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
like you'll be going into a town, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna mess with you."
I'm quite Jane.
Yep.
I'm sure you are. No, that's cool. I heard it was good. Everybody said it was better than the first one.
It's fun. Yeah, it's totally fun. It did really badly.
So this is odd. I mean,
it was odd. It's almost like Weapons, which keeps winning, was enough to really did it finally? Well,
to K-pop Demon Hunter.
Dude, I've been studying that.
Only out for 2 days. And it was a sing-along.
K-pop Demon Hunter is a phenomena. And what I love about it is it was sold for $20 million because they thought it was going to be a failure to Netflix, and it's become their #1 show.
Ever. #1 show ever.
It just proves how, just out of touch Hollywood and the executive system there is. They just don't know what they're doing at all.
No. Well, did you see it's the #1 television place right now? It's YouTube. Six months now in a row. YouTube is the #1 place to stream and watch TV.
And I saw the statistics. More people now are casting it to their TVs
Yeah.
And it's becoming a station.
Yeah.
Instead of just watching, because usually they just most people still watch it here, but I think now 30+% was now starting to watch it on their big screens.
I was at when I go into the house, the minute if I have something on YouTube, it pops up on my phone. Do you want to cast the television?
Smart.
Yeah,
Because now you're like, yeah, I'll just watch this. I've been
no,
watching.
I want to continue to hurt my eyes. Of course, I want to cast it there.
I've been watching my Dick Van Dyke show on YouTube, and so I pretty much in my nights with an episode of Rob and Petrie and his antics with in the Dick Van Dyke show
with Lori.
Yep, Rob and Lori Petrie and
that's a weird I mean, look, do I get it? They're all at the point now. It's like, what do you do? Like YouTube, they've won, and they just got a deal today again with Fox. They've got football. They won.
You know what? Everybody again, Hollywood was so out of touch. It was almost like Blockbuster. How out of touch Blockbuster was because they could have bought Netflix.
Remember when Reed Hastings said they went in there and they said we'll take $1 million and they laughed him out of the place?
Oh, Blockbuster was so hubris, just thought they were the greatest thing on earth. There's no reason why streaming. How stupid! What a dumb idea. Where it could have been, we wouldn't have been saying Netflix, we would have been saying Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But I see Hollywood doing the same thing. That's why who would put something on YouTube? That's where people put cat videos and dumb. Yeah, that is where people put cat videos. Welcome to the new world.
Yeah,
that's where everybody's going to be.
We love cat video.
And your $200 million epic isn't going to make as much money as that cat that just fell off an ice cube tray.
That's got 650 million views. Hey, speaking of that, did you see they had the most influential YouTubers?
Yeah.
And Mr. Beast was like number 7 behind somebody nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Like I whatever Speed, the guy up top, he's freaking, he's great. Like I see him everywhere. He's all over the Europe, played soccer, run around stuff. He's funny. But most of them I'd never heard of before. And the guy's like, it's cultural relevance. I'm like, well, none of these fucking people are culturally relevant like that guy.
No. Well, it's funny. It's like people get big when they talk like big musicians or actors' names. But, Call Me Chris has 50 million followers just on TikTok. And you're like, she should be considered one of the biggest stars on earth.
Yeah.
But no one even thinks of her. Because you're like, when you go between her Instagram or TikTok and her YouTube, she probably has close to 100 million followers. That's a lot. How many people have that? And most people have no idea who she is.
No.
But if she had a TV show that had a quarter of that, everybody, oh, look at that. She's actually very funny. If anybody watches her, very family-oriented stuff.
She would have the reach of the media in a way that she doesn't, because even though it's on here, it's still captured just on here and on here. It doesn't translate to once you leave that studio the same way that, that it does if you're a television star or somebody like that.
And one of my favorite news guys, he's like 25 and he just reports the news. He's not biased in any way. He literally will just tell you the news. He's a 25-year-old that is funny, like British guy.
Oh, it's the blonde guy, right? He's got like 20 million followers.
Yeah, no more than that. Yeah, it's ridiculous how many followers he got now. And he'll just tell you the news. Not his slants, not his take on the news. The news.
Funny, like, let me tell you what's happening here today. Yep. It's absolutely crazy. There was a shooting in Minnesota. That's in America. America is, and then they goes on. And it's funny. And then he moves on and that's it. Yep. And he comes back and forth. And he doesn't have a crazy set. No. He has nothing.
He's got a bedroom, basically.
Yeah.
That's why that's the new real. That's the new thing. It's going to destroy all the big old institutions of Hollywood. And it's these guys in their bedrooms that are becoming the go-to people.
What's is it the Dharma Man and those people, Dharma Studios and all those little, they do because that's the new hot thing, is the 12-minute, 8-minute episode of something.
The microdrama. Yeah.
The microdrama. Man, who was it? Quibi?
Yep.
Man, they started fucking.
Yep. Too soon, too expensive.
Well, yeah, because they brought in stars. You don't need stars.
You don't need stars. It's a microdrama. Literally, the big successful microdramas, I have no idea who those people are.
No, I don't. They're not even like, and some of them aren't even good enough to be on one of our awesome Hallmark shows.
No, exactly. And that again is the misnomer of the Hollywood community, is they think stars matter. stars don't matter. Stars can't open a movie. Maybe
Tom Cruise.
Maybe, but his last Mission Impossible and stuff didn't do all great. I don't believe Tom Cruise opened the last Top Gun. I believe Top Gun opened the last Top Gun. In other words, I don't believe people go, I gotta go see Tom Cruise in this. It was, oh, nostalgia. I want to see what happens to that story of Top Gun.
Yeah. But I think he's the last movie star on earth.
He's the last one that has any strike at it, 100%. Yeah. But I don't think that enough people go just to see Tom Cruise anymore to make that big of a difference.
And I think the other part of it is too, well, Tom's a little different too, because we don't have access. Like every other star, you have access 24/7 to, right? Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I mean, you can go online and, they've got, 1 million followers, 2 million followers. You've got access to every television star in a way you never had. You don't have to wait to see them on the red carpet or in an interview. No. When they're out shilling their new album. You have none of that. It's there. You have access to them 24/7. And I think that is taken away a bit of the mystique and mystery of movie stardom and stuff like that.
It used to be where it was so orchestrated by PR teams that, like, if Shirley Temple was going to go to get a 7-Up or a Coke at the diner, it was all pre-orchestrated.
Yeah.
They were there to show you, like, here's a peek into her life. But it couldn't be because there's camera crews and, it was never a peek into her life. But they want to be like, oh, look she's doing normal things like you do. That no longer is needed because that's I'd see on my, when I go to see my movie, be the reel that would run before my movie. Which people used to get a lot of news from that too. Those reels, like this is what happened this week, kind of thing. The world's changed to such an incredible degree that where everybody's trying to get their sea legs under them because they don't understand it.
No.
I was at a meeting yesterday. Old game guys, they understand a lot, incredibly successful, very brilliant, but still don't understand AI like they need to.
No. Well,
and the difference is I use it every single day to make a living. Yeah. So I don't blame them. There's a difference between hearing about it and having to use it every day.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
I use it all the time.
You know what? It's like, dude, I got to use this so I know more about it because I have to. It's like a plumber. I may know a little bit about plumbing, but the guy that's doing it every day knows a lot more than me.
Absolutely. And it's and it's weird too. We were explaining this yesterday about my friend Rachel here. She said, you know what? Because we do this like Hot Take Tuesday where we throw something stupid out. It has nothing to do with anything. Every week it's non-political. All the guys, like my first week, it was, I think the Beatles were kind of overrated. The second week was, I got to be honest with you guys, I thought The Godfather was a stupid movie. I thought it was boring and slow.
What a crazy take.
Yeah, because you know why? It wasn't a mob movie. It was a family drama. Because they couldn't say mob. By the way, have you seen The Order?
No.
So I think is it on Paramount Plus? It's the true story of how they did the movie. And it's got all these great actors in it. But it's the story of how they did the movie. And they had to go to like Sam Giancana or one of the guys. And he's like, okay, you got to take out the mob. Any mention of the mob and any mention of you can't say any of this, right? That's Mafia, funny. Mob, got to be out of there. You could be the family. That's it. Like that's they had funny. To do all that. Otherwise they shut him down. Wouldn't even let him do anything until they did this. And it's way more entertaining because it was just, you know what? Peter was right. Peter Griffin. It insisted on itself.
You're along for a ride about a family that's involved in high-level crime. That is true.
Yeah.
As opposed to
it's not a mob movie.
Goodfellas is a mob
family
movie.
Members. It's a family drama, and this is their business.
Goodfellas, they weren't a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Goodfellas was very much about the guys that got together to do organized crime. I love Goodfellas, by the way. But you're right. There's a difference between The Godfather and The Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like Goodfellas better.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's funny because what's that? The little guy's name? He's just
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Yeah. Joe Pesci is fantastic.
It's fantastic. Is it? It's a great. But that whole thing was, and that's the whole thing. That was like our hot take, and the hot take she had yesterday really wasn't a hot take. She goes, but you know what? It was in the New Yorker. It was the New York Times that in the future, thinking for yourself is going to be the new privilege. because we are turning to AI so much for everything. Yep. Just even the most minutia, you question, the answer to, but you double check, or it's becoming your default thing, and that thinking is being taken away from us, and our brains are going to start to atrophy. We're going to have more intelligence at our fingertips, but less in the dome.
100%, which means we become controllable.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the most terrifying part of it. How you see it now, you see it in today's shooting, you see it everything. There's a narrative that gets pushed, and that narrative will be reinforced, and independent questioning of things is fallen to the wayside. It's happening. Israel, the shooting, Trump, anybody that hates Trump is an absolute idiot, because you cannot hate Trump if you're completely objective with reality. That's not possible.
Well, here's the thing. The difference, you shouldn't, first of all, you shouldn't hate any politician.
You shouldn't hate anybody. So number one. So
but the whole thing is, you can not like how he governs. You can, if you're objective, you can look, I don't have to, like me, I don't care one way or another. I just want the actions. I don't care about the person.
I don't like how Biden governed. I don't hate Biden.
No.
I have never hated Biden.
No, but and that's the funny thing, but there is no independence. People have given up on independence because they've allowed their identity to become their ideologies here, and now that's my identity. And so you can't test my identity, so I'm never going to go anywhere it's tested, so I can't strengthen my arguments on anything, and I don't want to hear anything new, so don't dare bring me something that will test me.
That's highly ignorant.
It is.
That idea is highly ignorant.
It is.
And that's why I'm saying, like I don't like Gavin Newsom. I do not hate Gavin Newsom. That doesn't even make sense in my head.
No.
I don't like his policies. I think that he's doing a lot of wrong things. Do you hate? Not in the least.
No.
These people literally hate Trump.
Yeah.
That is ignorant.
Well, but they're nuts, right? I mean, that's
ignorant.
But and I get the same thing, like, the local show here. I get stuff that, like all of these people that they'll say shit about, people that are here illegally or something. And I'm sitting there and I'm shaking my head and I'm thinking, how do you fucking feel that way? Look, you don't have to like, I get it. You don't like that they're here, whatever. It's making you uncomfortable. You do the same damn thing. Right.
I do want deportation. I don't want illegal aliens being able to run here free. Unless they're a child predator or something like that. But there's none I hate. No. I can honestly say I hate pedos and that kind of. I really do, But but if you just random people that are at the
you come across because you're trying to feed your family, been here for 5 years, and you're freaking, you're just trying to, you're day laboring it, doing everything. I don't hate you. You're a human being.
I don't think you should be here. I think you should come in the right way, but not in the least. That's why I don't understand that society. I do not see the same amount of hate on the right. I just don't, as on the left.
You don't spend enough time. Trust me, dude. You spend a couple hours with me, you walk away and go, what the hell is that all about?
Well, maybe, but I haven't seen, you even see independent things where people will be on. Did you ever see the black guy that said he was scared to go to the Trump convention?
This guy attacked me today on the air.
Oh. Well, what was the topic?
Conservative enough because we're not freaking, and then, he's like, because you guys are not talking about chemtrails. And I go, what? I go, what? He goes, yeah, you're not talking about chemtrails. He goes, because you're bought and sold by Pfizer. I'm like, Pfizer does chemtrails?
Yeah, I've never heard that one either.
And of course, that was it, right? Like, we suck, and he's texting us what pieces of shit we are. And I'm like, Bell, who are you fighting with? He's like, oh, dude. But you'd be surprised the quiet disdain some people have. They're not as loud as the left is very loud. I tell everybody, when people are mad at me, well, minus the whole thing with the Jews, when people are mad at me on the left, they are so much more vile and angry, but the right, not as vile and well, they can be as vile, but they're consistently, and they sneak in the like, oh, here's a little something, here's a little this, like during the text messages. I'm like, okay. But but they're both, it's ignorance. You're right. It's fear and ignorance.
It's ignorance on either side.
Yeah.
Anytime you hate anybody, it's out of ignorance.
Yeah.
Because I don't know them. I can't hate them.
I don't know you.
If Trump sat down with us right now, we would probably like him. He'd be like, how's it going? Want a drink? Blah, blah, blah. We probably like him. That's kind of cool. Look at Bill Maher. Liked him. He went to dinner with him and said, yeah, I like that guy. Now, Bill Maher doesn't agree with what he does.
No, he's already said that.
I did to hate someone is literally a modern Ignorance. Exactly. Yeah. It's literally a badge of ignorance.
Yeah. Because I was talking about, like, I met Clinton at some, I don't know, it was like a health event in Palm
That's pretty
Springs.
cool. I bet you.
Everybody said, you met him? I'm like, oh, yeah. But that was awful. Like, it fucking was awesome. He was so cool. You know what? A couple of my buddies met W. Bush, and they're freaking the leftiest of lefties. Yep. They're like, oh, dude was fucking so cool. You're right. He's the kind of guy you want to have beer with. He's fun.
Yep.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Yeah. Yeah. You know, you wouldn't. Why? Because it wasn't politics. It was like, oh, you're a human being.
Well, what is it? Wasn't Thomas Jefferson that said he never wants to allow politics to get in the way of friendships?
Yeah, you can't. And we've allowed that.
You can't.
Because we've allowed our identity to all of a sudden become our, you know, the ideologies over here that slips down and becomes our identity, and that's it. And you can't even, like yesterday, our breaking news, like a minute into the show, it was fucking Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and we talked about it.
Oh, I don't know what happened with him.
They got engaged.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But, you know, everybody's
like, care.
People are like, they're stupid. These people, nobody cares about this. I'm like, well, really? Well, let's go look at Google. Okay, in the last 20 minutes, 50 million people have searched all of this crap.
So it's like K-pop Demon Hunter, what we just talked about.
Yeah.
I watched it and I didn't like it. It's the biggest show on earth. So what does it matter what I like? I'm like,
are they Korean pop stars that chase demons?
Yep. And you know what the demons do because they can't defeat him? This is literally just a story. I'm not spoilers. The demons say, you know what we do? We'll create a boy band because they're a girl band. So a K-pop boy band so we can fight them basically on their own turf. That's the setup of the movie.
They have like a dance battle?
And singing. A lot of singing, a lot of dancing, a lot of K-pop. And, you know, kids love it. They watch it over and over again. I think in the last 2 weeks, it's had a 0 depreciation rate. So in other words, you know how usually they watch and it goes down from the first. It's been holding just steady. People are just watching.
295 million views.
Yeah.
That beat Red Note.
Yeah. It beat some of what you think like these big stars in it, like The Rock or something, and it beats them. So in the same way, what I see is politics are becoming this weird division, and I think that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the point, you know, even, you know, the right is getting more right. Like I've been listening to Nick Fuentes because he's growing in popularity, which is interesting, and Jack Posobiec and some of these people that are on the right. And Nick Fuentes.
He is, because you and I have talked about a weird world of Hitler making a resurgence.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm listening, I'm going, it's weird because he claims to be a hardcore Christian, and yet he has some very interesting that don't seem to line up much with Christianity. These, you know, he's basically, I wouldn't say white supremacist, but I'd say he's definitely dangling his feet into that pool.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. He's a separatist. He's a white separatist.
White separatist. And you're like, okay, he's grown in popularity. You cannot deny that he is becoming more and more.
Well, because he's, you know, I mean, he looks at Trump and he says, I don't buy your bullshit, right? You're Israel first. You're not us first. You talk about all of this game, and I'm not afraid to say I call BS, you know, and it was, and that's kind of where it started with that. And
that's what's scary, because I have to honestly admit that his anti-Semitic facts honestly are anti-Semitic. He's been on that bandwagon before this ever happened. He now has a foil to use to bring people on board with him. And that's what's scary about it. It's like, dude, you've been talking bad about Jews forever. Now you have a common cause for the little-minded to just jump on board because somehow Muslims who have killed 50,000 Christians through beheadings over the last, 3 years, that's okay because they didn't use a bomb. I guess if the Jews use a bomb, they're the evil scourge of the world. But if the Muslims use machetes to cut off heads, well, you know, that's just a cultural thing.
No, that's not a cultural thing. It's all, but they kill themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, it's
Sunnis and Shias will kill each other in a heartbeat.
They also kill Christians first. And nobody talks about that. And that's not an ethnic cleansing, and I'm going to throw the flag around. And I'm like, to me, it's pathetic, the anti-Israel thing, because it's literally intellectually.
It's not anti-Israel. See, that's intellectual dishonesty. It's anti the Likud party who lies on a daily basis about what they're doing, what they want to do, and they lie all the time. BB they lie. They're not even pretending anymore, dude. They're coming out and saying it like to everybody's face.
And why is it not a good plan? Why is not separating the kids fighting in the playground not the right decision? I do not know. I don't care. I'm America first, so I don't care what they decide to do. But if Israel decides to take over land that was theirs and separate these people that have been fighting for the last 2,000 years,
it goes back to the theirs when. So we're going to go back to the Bible. We're going to go back 80 years. Is not that's now. It's got to we go back further, and then we could talk about this here. Why doesn't
anybody ask when it was the Palestinians? Because when you see the original pictures, there were no cities there. They were like a Bedouin nomadic tribes.
Yeah,
they were just tents. So why was it theirs? Just because they had tents on it?
Well, they didn't have a flag. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Was that Canadian?
100%. They didn't have a flag. They didn't have
a flag.
All of a sudden, it's like, this is yours because you decided to squat here.
No, but it was nobody.
I'd like to answer.
Like the Eastern European Jews didn't have like papers for this is my land. They were trying to find a solution of, we'll send them back to their homeland. We'll give them something.
At the end of the day, when you like Nick Fuentes has found now a way to get into the mainstream because he's always hated Jews, and now he can talk to people who also want to hate Jews, and he'll give them a good excuse to do it because for some reason
that's intellectually dishonest. It's not about hating the Jews. If I can't,
he's always hated the Jews.
Oh, but I told you that for a long time, and you're like, oh, he's not that bad.
No, I've listened to some of the stuff. He's always hated the Jews.
He started doing the stuff about like the freaking, like the cookies, putting him in the cookie, and that.
He doesn't believe that the Holocaust happened.
No, he doesn't.
And my thing is so stupid. You're counting, dude. I don't care if it was 5 million. It's horrible. He's like, I don't think it was 6 million. Dude, you're literally going to count and act like
4.95 million. Oh, that makes it better.
Never mind then. That's different.
The Armenian Holocaust was only 1.1. It wasn't 1.6, so it didn't really. It happened. What if it was 7 million? Does it make that like? Does it matter? Points? No.
What if it's only 1 million? It doesn't matter. That's a lot of people just to slaughter. But he started on that, and so I think that he is anti-Jew, and I think that now he can go into the mainstream in disguise, and that's my fear of some of
Well, nobody. Now, here's the thing: any normal like person who knows who he is doesn't buy into it. But you got a lot of young people out there who also look at him and think, okay, the Israel thing. That's a lot of people feel like they have a problem with that. And then, and by the way, same thing with, you can't even ask a question about Israel. And again, this is not about Israel. It's not about the Jews. It's about the Likud party. It's about Bibi and them. I can't ask a question. I can't be, you want our money. You walk around like a big dick swinging in the Middle East. And the only reason you do that is because we're standing behind your ass. You got nuclear weapons? Wait a minute. How do you have nuclear weapons? Well, we don't. Why haven't you signed on to any of these treaties or any of these compacts? Well, we don't have them. But you say you do. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. Well, why you deserve them? How did you even get them? Oh, that's right. There's
Jewish scientists is how we got nuclear weapons. Say some Germans and some Jews.
Yeah, but how do you think they got it? How do you think they got it? They didn't get them that way.
Well, they thought they came up with it. I mean, honestly, the testing for
how do you think they got them? How do you think they got the plans? Where do you think they got them magically from?
Oh, you don't think the Oppenheimer and all those guys, those Jews in there, didn't help the Israel get their own bombs? There were a lot of Jews, from the Oppenheimer days. There were Jews in there because Einstein and a lot of these people were, and a lot of the Jews that ran away from Germany ended up coming and helping us build the bomb. So the fact that Germans
and a lot of Nazis did too,
and a lot of Nazis,
but they didn't get the bomb until way, 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 way later.
Well, I believe a lot of those original guys probably helped Israel. They were Jews.
Oh, dude. You guys pretty much any of the first of all, remember, they're not supposed to have any. So how would we know if they had any? Well, partially because remember when Colin Powell, when his emails and the WikiLeaks came out, he goes, I think they got like 90 of them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're supposed to put that on a fucking AOL message.
But the funny thing is where why is that wrong?
What do you mean, why is it wrong?
Why shouldn't they have nukes?
Because they wouldn't even let us go in and inspect. They wouldn't let anybody do it.
Who are they threatening with the nukes?
Who's anybody threatening with their nukes?
North Korea threatens everybody all the time. North Korea is
although you know what's scary, dude? Speaking of that, when I was talking to Mike Lyons, a military guy, we were talking about the fact that they've got AI working. And he said the biggest fear, he goes, this is when I worry more about North Korea. North Korea has nuclear weapons. The problem is they have no way to deliver it. They were always terrified if they fired it off, it would land in their home country and it would be the only light they ever had there. But he goes, now that because of the AI they have, he goes, it's more than likely now they have an actual deliverable system where they didn't have that before.
But probably not.
I mean, how many times have you seen them when they do one of the rocket things and the shit falls like either on the coast or four inches into the ocean? They never get it anywhere.
Yeah. It's like Russia threatens it. They use their nukes all the time.
Yeah.
Anytime, because they know that's really all they have. North Korea threatens to use their nukes. Even Iran. If we get a nuke, we're going to nuke you. In this whole time, Israel has never threatened to nuke anybody. They may have them.
Well, because remember, they deny that they have.
But if they have 90, they could come out and say, screw you guys. We have the third largest, probably. I don't know. Does Britain have more than 90?
Oh, Britain and the French probably.
I thought they were still in the 70s, but maybe they don't. Yeah.
No. Britain and the French have a decent amount.
A decent amount. No one cares about them?
Well, again, we don't even know. But they also, here's the thing, all of us have signed on to something about the, proliferation. And they refuse to do it. Why do you refuse to do it? You should be like us, right? By the way, we back every bond that you guys sell that we know is worthless. We back everything you guys do. And I can't even criticize you. And that's anti-Semitic. So
of course you can criticize them.
No, Paul, that's anti-Semitic. If I say I think Bibi's wrong, it's because you hate Jews. Oh, somebody burned my bagel. It's because you hate Jews. I like donut. It's because you hate Jews.
Well, that's the crazy thing. 100% anybody should be able to criticize anybody, Jews included. And what they wouldn't like is if Fuentes wants to come and spew ignorance about no Holocaust, he's allowed to. That's free speech. I believe he's an idiot, and I do not believe that that's true. There 100% was Holocaust. But if he wants to say it, he can. Nobody should be able to. I mean, if you want to criticize him and say whatever, go ahead.
It's like burning the flag. Trump tried to do that. You can't.
Well, to be clear, you can't burn the flag if you're a foreign. What was it? Basically, if you were a foreign representing a foreign entity trying to overthrow America. Okay, that's cool. Because you're not an American.
Yeah, no, but his thing is he the way that because he's trying to get it make it a crime if you burn the flag and you have to do a year in jail, which is impossible. It's already been spoken
only for Americans. It's only been spoken for that Americans can burn the flag.
But the way they're trying to word it is if you burn the flag and then something happens after you burn the flag because it's an incitement to violence. Then it's an incitement to violence.
So if I'm a Palestinian person and I'm burning the American flag and I'm literally here on a visa, and all of a sudden we attack some cops, I'm inciting. I have no problem with any of that.
No, again,
now the media is lying and acting like he's trying to stop Americans first. No, he's trying to stop non-Americans' ability to incite violence against America. I'm all for it.
No, but he was talking about anybody who burns a flag will do.
That's not what the writing said.
No, because the thing is, his people get all excited, and they're like, "Oh, like yesterday." I'm like, "It's the dumbest thing in the world." First of all, it's already been spoken for. Supreme Court's taken it up on several occasions and said,
"Well, so Rose versus Wade, so a lot of things got overturned." So,
but okay, so here's the thing, though. Let's just say. You say it's okay to burn the flag. Okay, that's fine. What if it's no longer okay to burn the flag? What if I start to say, yeah, maybe it's not okay for you to wear a red hat like that because it could incite violence or worry? Well, hold on a second. What? Or what about the Confederate flag here in the South? And what if I can't drive the fucking General Lee anymore?
Well, then what would them Dukes are not going to be able to get away?
No, especially those days.
Especially the Daisy Dukes. But more importantly, should any president, whether his policy is enacted, have a stance that I stand for America, and I'm against the burning of the flag. George Washington would have shot him in the face. So would the rest of the founding fathers. So we're doing a lot better, and every president should be very clear. Any protest by foreigners or even domestic people against this nation is wrong, in my opinion. 100%, I think should be illegal.
So you can't protest against your government and your nation?
By burning the flag? Not if you're an American, you shouldn't. A United States, if I'm an American, I believe I should be waving the flag.
So wait a minute here. If you're a vet that went to Vietnam, we'll call him Uncle Victor, and you were lied to, put in harm's way, made to kill people, came back, all based on fucking lies.
And a little mentally messed up, we'll call him Uncle Victor.
Crazy as a shithouse rat.
Cuss out someone if you saw him burning the American flag. And we'll call that Uncle Victor.
So, but the thing is, the one of the things that started this was the Vietnam vets coming back, realizing they got lied to, because it's okay that our government wants us to praise them and give them all of this greatness when they fucking lie to us all the time, put our people in harm's way, waste billions of dollars on bullshit, and we're supposed to be patriotic. That's how they sell the bullshit.
But shouldn't the flag be a symbol of America, not a symbol of the current government? Shouldn't the American flag be a symbol of the people that died to give us the freedom? And that if I'm burning,
because America, the Constitution is the thing that matters most, not the freaking
flag.
The
Constitution, a flag, the flag.
The flag is a symbol.
Our anthem is all about the flag raising, because remember, the whole point was the British said, we're going to keep bombing you until you lower the flag. And if you lower the flag, there were Americans that were dead bodies lined up because we died to keep the flag raising, because it was a symbol. It was a symbol. Yeah. It was saying, you know what? F you guys. America's more important than all that.
But if the flag disappeared tomorrow, America doesn't
disappear. But the point is, we do have the flag, and the flag represents the values that so many died for.
It represents whatever somebody wants to represent. Some people look at it and think it's just a flag. Some people, well, why should you be able to fly it upside down?
Well, I don't. Well, in distress of the country, that's not destroying it. The military won't even let the flag touch the ground. There's flag ceremonies. You're not supposed to let it touch the ground.
You're not supposed to let it. I don't think you're supposed to let the sunset or darkness it either. You're supposed to have a light.
There's all these things, and it was for respect for the people that died to establish the country.
But for the country. But we're past that now.
But that's wrong. I don't think we're in a better place. We shouldn't be past that. We should say this flag represents an ideology that we all live free under.
And because of that, it is. The belief and the spirit of America is not a flag. That's just a symbol.
But symbols are important. We wear crosses. That's just a symbol. A cross isn't Jesus. A cross is that Jesus is my Lord and Savior.
A cross isn't Jesus. A church, by the way, isn't
and
Jesus.
And if you burnt a cross,
the relationship between Jesus and you is far more important than the cross.
But if someone was out there going, "I hate Christians," burning a cross, or they were trans trying to shoot up a cross, I wouldn't like it, and I don't think they should do it. Do they have the freedom to do it? I guess that's a freedom of speech. But you know what? I can't burn a trans flag, or I can't burn a gay flag.
Yes, you can. You 100% can. That's been
really
ruled
because
upon.
The guys that just did a burnout on the Rainbow Road.
What you what you can do, what you can't do, is take somebody else's shit and burn it.
So if because those guys, that wasn't there, that was a public thing, and they did a burnout on the rainbow flag in the parking lot.
And that was all blown up for that. None of that came to fruition. That was all like they were going to do something.
They threw it out.
And the Supreme Court ruled you can't destroy other people's property. Like, so you can't. If I took like a flag, whatever kind of flag it is, and I freaking decide I'm going to burn it, but I bought it, it's mine, it's okay, and I'm in an area where I'm allowed to. I'm not like in the middle of the freaking public space. Like the guy they arrested yesterday, they arrested in front of the White House. Well, that's patrolled by the park. Yeah. You can't even roast marshmallows there, let alone start a fire. He could have gone across the street and have been fine. But, so he was like, they're taking me with, no, they're taking me because you did this. If it's mine, it's okay. If I go and rip somebody else's down and then burn it, well, then it's property value that I've hurt, and I've done it for that reason. Less, of course, it's the Israeli flag. Then, of course,
or the Palestinian flag, or the gay flag, or I can list a lot of flags.
No, you can burn the shit out of the Palestinian flag.
I could take the LGBT flag, or I'm missing some acronyms there, and burn it, because I remember that was considered hate crime.
No, it's been ruled upon as long as it's your property. So, but you can't burn a flag and then run into a gay bar and throw it.
No, because you're throwing a burning. I don't care what was burning. You can't hurt people. Yeah. Because I think that I have no problem with America saying that there's some values that we have seminal moments. You have Iwo Jima. You have the national anthem, all about people protecting the flag. You have pictures, whether it be the Civil War. There's flags in the museum of all the bullet wounds and blood on that flag because people would run to hold the flag up because this was ours. You have Iwo Jima. The first thing they did when they took back that land was raise the American flag. I think the American flag has a meaning that transcends current government and is a representation of us. And I have no problem them saying, you idiots, you're burning a representation of what gives you the freedom that you say you want to burn. You should wave it. You should protest the government you don't like, waving the flag, not burning the flag. Because,
well, I go with what Anton Scalia said, and Anton Scalia was pretty good. And he said, look, if I was king, I'd make it illegal. You would never be able to do it, but I'm not. And this is the way that some people want to protest our government and how they feel about it. And if we start taking that away, we're going to start taking away other rights.
But how long ago was
that? Slippery slope. Anton Scalia.
When that ruling? How long was that ruling? That was
the 90s. And by the way, Scalia is one of those people that he's
great.
If you look,
but I wonder if you would have brought him now and he saw the deterioration of our society over the last.
I mean, Paul, the deterioration. If you go back to the 60s and 70s, the burning of the flag, this is nothing. It was bonfire time there because of Vietnam, because of what was going on, because of the lies that they felt they were told, the shit that those guys. And remember, we're going to take care of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'll make sure we take care of the illegal aliens.
Step over one.
Yeah, take care of the illegal aliens, but we don't. And Ukraine, that's going to get a lot of money, but not a.
And Israel
got 300 million over what, 10 years?
Oh, dude, Israel since the 1960s, nobody's even come close to what Israel gets.
Well, how much? But it was about 300 million over the last 10 years. I'm asking AI.
Which one? Have you named your AI?
No, I'm going to name Clarence because I like It's a Wonderful Life, and Clarence was a guardian angel.
Oh, dude, that is the worst. I watch it every year for Christmas, and this may be my hot take next week. All right, I watch it every year for Christmas. I got to be honest with you. It's fucking stupid. That guy whines the whole fucking movie, dude. And Jimmy Stewart whines, oh, my life sucks, and I don't got anything, and all I have is a lot of friends, and I have a nice house, and a hot wife, and kids are good, and I live really good life, and I help all these people out, but it's not what I wanted. And then when I had a chance to do something, I didn't want to go into plastics.
Well, you know what?
You know what? You should drown your turd.
He is whiny. But Donna Reed and that whole little story is just, it's like eating biscuits and gravy.
He's so whiny, dude. I know, and I watch it every year, and I don't know why. I watch it every year. I know all the words to it, and every year I look at my wife and I go, he just whines the whole freaking movie. He doesn't deserve.
Dude, just toughen up a bit.
Yeah,
he was a millennial before a millennial.
A war hero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. And he helps everybody out, right? Like he gets them all into Shady Acres Estates or whatever it is. And, the Italian guys, I can't believe you got me into the Shady Acres with their 48 kids and they're all excited, and then this freaking weird uncle loses all the money and we go through the thing every year and blah, 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 blah. And you
that uncle was so weird. Why are you allowing him to do the money?
I don't know. That was like, I also thought about that
too. He has a bird and this weird stuff. I mean.
Yeah, they have a bird that lives in the bank.
He can't remember anything because he missed his wedding.
Yeah, but he has a bird. Why do they have a bird in the savings and loan?
Because they're a small town, Bedford Falls. What you do in small town?
So freaking
Claire. They get most of the approximately 3.3 billion a year goes to military, which means us. So they don't get 300 billion a year. They get. I mean, it's a few billion, but it's not like 300 billion a year we've been giving them.
No, but see, you're looking at military aid and certain things like that. They get the most comparatively. This is just aid. Like, here's your stuff. This is yours. Have fun with it. Egypt, Number 2, and a lot of that's because of military and the Camp David peace treaties. Jordan gets a decent amount. Good for Jordan. Afghanistan gets a whole shit ton. But how much? Well, there's a perfect example of waste. We fought 20 years, Paul, to leave. We got rid of the Taliban and we replaced them with the Taliban.
Well, Trump got rid of the Taliban and Biden replaced them with the Taliban.
Well, we replaced them. What were we going to do? We couldn't stay there forever, right? I mean, that's what got us into these messes.
I think each year. And they buy our military stuff. So we give about $3.31 billion a year.
Since World War II, adjusted for inflation, almost $160 billion.
And how much did we give to Ukraine in like 1 year?
Well, after.
How much did we give to Ukraine in 1 year? About 175 billion. I guess we didn't give them everything pledged.
Yeah. So we always talk about that. It's like even, Trump says, hey, we're going to give, what is it called? We're going to give, we're going to give you guys these long range missiles, but you can't use them. Well, why are you giving them to me?
Well, yeah. Well, because they have to pay us for them.
So, well, don't send them if we can't use them.
Well, here's my thing. Let's give them in case Russia ever wants to really do anything more, which they don't, and or they would have.
No, he's going to, dude. Not they don't. He's going to go for as long as he can.
He's going to take the Donbass, and that's all he needed, and that's all he wanted.
He's going to go for as long as he possibly can. He has zero reason right now to have any conversation with anybody.
None. Because they can't take it away from him. And he has it. And that opens up entirely new trade routes for his economy. He will never give it up. Only idiots think that we can't make any peace deal unless he gives up the Donbass. And he'll never give it up. They need to make a peace deal that says, you get it. It's yours. Now let's figure out peace.
Yeah. You're never going to give it up. And there's no reason for him. Take as much as you possibly can is what's going to happen.
He hasn't.
Right
Those
now, you
haven't moved in a year.
Oh, dude, he's been moving. It went from house to house and World War II. He's moving a few kilometers a day. The question is, he doesn't have the strength or the power of the men that he would need to go into.
So basically, he's stuck pretty much in that region.
He's actually going to end up probably taking up another 10%. Well, you're frozen.
Which means he will never tackle Poland or never tackle the rest of NATO.
No, he couldn't tackle Poland.
So we've been lied to about that.
No, he could, if he brought his real troops up. He's not used most of his real. None of these people are real troops.
And
these are all
he's not. Putin is we call him insane, but he's not insane. He knows his military and he's an evil man, but he's not stupid.
Yeah, no, this isn't his, he's got the Spetsnaz and other people that are in other parts of the world that he has not even come close to touching because he's not going to risk them because he can throw, but
he has what he wanted.
He's also destroyed his country's future for a few generations because you've lost probably well over 1 million men just here of maiden age, but you've lost about 3.5 to 4 million young people who will never return to your country while you're alive.
Yeah.
So that's a brain drain, dude. When you lose 4 to 5 million people like that, it's a brain drain.
But if you open up a way to bypass the European gatekeepers through trade, which is what Donbass gives him, you've created a future for your country that is not just them destroying the pipeline and them doing this, which cripples you. You now have 2 trade routes and opening one that you've never had before, which in the long-term goal is what I think his goal is look at you're right. But 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, we'll have a trade route that allows me to safeguard the longevity of this country.
Well, he wanted a warm port for all of his warships.
And he needed one.
And he's got it because most of them are at the bottom of the water. But
if Trump was smart, we'd be making a deal with Russia that would take him out of China's hands, put him in a direct relationship economically with us, crippling China, and securing just another person to help secure that side of the world.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't need to. He feels closer to China, and he trusts China. He doesn't trust us.
I don't blame him.
No.
The European people, like if America by itself, we may be able to make a deal, but every time we try to make a deal, Europe whines, that can't be done, unless Ukraine's whole.
Well, yeah, but you know what? They live next door. They live a lot closer than we do.
They're also run by mostly wimpy people. I mean, it's funny when you see them all sitting, they're all got their arms, their legs crossed, kind of like women do, with their hands on. It's like, dude, could you guys just act like you're men for 10 seconds when you're talking to Putin? So just act like you're basically,
Putin doesn't want anything to do with him.
Well, I wouldn't blame him.
He likes Macron. He's okay with Macron. He doesn't have a problem with that. He'll interact with Macron. I don't think he'll have anything to do with the Swedes or the Finns. It was kind of funny though.
I don't think he likes the British. I don't think he likes the British.
No, I don't think he likes the British either. But they weren't friends. By the way, long before this, he wasn't a fan of the British. It wasn't like he was pals. He wasn't pals with, going back with John Major or any of them. He wasn't pals for them. That's because he still sees them as the West.
But isn't it like what he's doing is classic military strategy? If you're going to get a treaty, you don't back down. You progress because you want to be on the best footing for that potential treaty. You're gonna,
of course.
So you start attacking more.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a treaty? Okay. Well, there's, all of a sudden, instead of being here, I'm expanding my lines. I'm doing more damage. So you're going to come to the table in a treaty different. That's just classic military.
And he's got no reason to come to the table. Trump and the Europeans have zero cards to play.
Well, why do we even care to play? What does Ukraine have for us? Russia has more for us. Russia has more rare minerals and,
no, Ukraine had the big, but Russia's not sharing in those rare minerals where Ukraine would.
Well, Zelensky would balked. No one talks about how Zelensky is a bit of an asshole when it came to peace too. He balked at everything that Trump's like, give us rare minerals thing. No, we're not going to do that.
He signed on with the rare minerals, but
finally,
it didn't matter. Yeah, he signed on. He said, fine with the rare minerals. We'll be partners.
The problem is Russia took most of the land. It has the rare minerals in it.
Yeah, and he can take what he wants.
So we should be dealing directly with Russia.
Yeah, no. Well, but we're not, because the reality is Putin doesn't really care to. He doesn't need to. He blows smoke up Trump's ass. They laugh and they turn around and walk away. And he'll, as soon as his appetite is satiated and the noise gets loud enough at home that the people no longer want to see their young go to die, which is the same thing that happened with the Soviet Union and Afghanistan. It wasn't anything other than the mothers took to the streets and say, we don't have any kids anymore. You've lost a generation for us.
How does Ukraine still keep getting fighters? They're a smaller country.
They don't. They're recruiting 60-year-olds now.
So what it is, it's a war of attrition for him. If he just waits it out, Ukraine has nobody else to fight.
His whole thing is, no matter how many people you throw at me, I've got more people and more bullets, so I will win. It's a war of attrition. So why wouldn't Ukraine just make a deal? I would. Dude, you got more people, more bullets, and more guns. You want this stupid thing? Leave us alone. Take it. I think Ukraine is totally fine making a deal. I think it's Putin. Right now, it's Putin that doesn't want the deal. He doesn't. He doesn't need to, because you know what? Like you said, dude, take his money. His goal, honestly, is to weaken him to the point where the goal is, this is the new president of Ukraine. It's whoever I say it is, and you need to leave.
Kind of like Belarus or something like that, which is kind of like Russia.
Be a vassal state.
Yeah,
that's what you're going to be.
Which gives him a buffer for NATO. Forget who Putin is. Just look at military strategy. He's not dumb, and when it comes to military strategy, what he's doing makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, but also the whole thing was, we don't want them in NATO. They were never going to get into NATO, and everybody knew that. But he also wanted, he wanted some of that land. And the other side of it is, you also now brought NATO to your door, because now you've got Finland and Sweden, who are now NATO members. And
well, again, like any time of war calculations, nothing ever goes perfect. No. D-Day didn't go perfect, but in the end, we accomplished our goals. When you look back, the thing, nothing ever goes perfect. I was just watching about the 9th Legion of Rome that was disappeared, and how they think they found them because Rome basically abandoned them. And that was their number one legion, the number one. If you were being a problem, they sent in the 9th Legion to kick your ass. And then they basically were kind of just like, you guys are kind of troublesome because you're incredibly powerful. We're just going to drop you. And no supply, no nothing, and they ended up dying. So I mean, history is full of these interesting facts.
Yeah, totally.
That nothing's perfect.
It's the unforeseen, it's the unforeseen circumstances.
The unforeseen circumstances. But on the whole, we beat the Nazis. Our plans didn't go perfect, but at the end of the day, we still won. People seem to think that winning is all or nothing.
No, it's not. Well, there is no. Very rarely is it all or nothing.
I was even listening, even when we beat America, when we established ourselves and beat Britain, one of the reasons they retreated is they gave an opening to buy more land in the future, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was an interesting thing. It was like, okay, you guys win, we did, but we can still buy more, right? Like, okay, and so it was like this. So we won, but it wasn't this like all out, be out. England just
we won our independence, and at the same time, we also said, "Look, we can still be friends."
Basically, and you guys want to invest in us still? You still can. You can still own property. It'll be a financial. At the end of the day, which I say a lot, but we try to turn history into a soundbite.
No, it's not a soundbite.
It's not a soundbite. It's much more complicated. And I think that this Ukrainian conflict and the Israeli conflict is so complicated, and everybody's working off of sound bites, and they don't realize that there's so much more to it, that the solutions will never come from making equations from sound bites.
Oh,
the solutions will only come from making equations from the totality of the data.
And the actions and what ends up being the, when the whistle finally blows in the game, whatever the score is, that's what the score is, yep. and we're going to get there, and Putin is going to be the one that decides that, nobody else.
He has all the cards in this point.
Yeah, he's got.
And I keep watching those, those influencers, unless it's all fake, but I don't see how it could be, that are putting YouTube videos of Russia. Their stores are full. They can have all the meat and the Coke and anything they want. There doesn't seem to be any shortage. And this is from people in Siberia to people in Moscow.
Yeah, they were on a war footing for a while.
But now it seems pretty.
They're not as well. Being in a war economy is not bad. And Trump threatened, we're going to do this, this, and this, but then he kind of the Indians called us bluff, and then he was like, well, we got fucking nothing, because he doesn't have the balls to go after China.
Well, we're going after China with tariffs, but we're not going after,
Those are fucking weak tariffs, dude. We're not going after China. Let's be real. What did he say the other day? Well, we don't want the Chinese not to come here and go to school. I mean, we're talking about 600,000 visas. Well, we're giving 300,000 now.
Well, the problem is I think he saw on every tech paper and everything, those are definitely not American names. It's one of the things that I think is hilarious, because I look at the AI papers. That's Ching Dong Wang and Tung B, and Indian, a lot of Indian names.
Yeah,
like
Patel and all
that stuff. A lot of Chinese names, ton. We are an adversarial footing with China, but we also, Germans built our nukes, not us.
Germans were our enemy. The Germans.
We did defeat Project Paperclip. We brought them over after we basically defeated them, but we did it to keep them from the Russians.
To get them. We raced to get them. That was it. I mean, there was an all out, like, between us and the Soviets, who could get to all of those guys first. Notice I said guys.
Exactly.
But so China, we have it. And it sounds horrible, and but whatever. Not every Chinese student's a spy, but pretty much every spy is a Chinese student or professor. And that is a serious issue. We allow them to buy fucking land in droves.
Yeah.
In our country. How much land can we own? None. How many of our kids or adults went to school last year in China? 400, 600, something like that?
Well, why do you think they send them here? Because China isn't got the top schools on earth.
No.
Now, the only good thing is we're going to turn them all into trans and non-binaries and dims.
They're not doing that.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
The thing is, even if you come here, and I remember, and I talked to Gordon Chang, who's probably the preeminent voice when it comes to China. Even if you come here and your family immigrates here and you're a second generation, and you got a wife and kids, you know, and you're married to Linda. Her name is Linda Smith, and you got little kids and the whole 9 yards. You may get a, hey, grandma and grandpa still live over there, so I need you to do this, because they think long.
Yeah.
Long game. And just because, and you may have never even been to China, and they don't give a shit.
You know, Jack Posobiec was controversial recently because he was bringing up the fact that you're not an American unless you've been here at least two generations. That an American, a true American, has to have been here and assimilated into our society for 2 generations in order to be considered an actual American. I don't think I agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that.
I see points to that, like what you just said, that they're still beholden to China regardless.
Yeah.
I see points to what he has to say. I think that an American, because you know, I saw a guy and he was going against him saying, well, what if you're an American born here for multiple generations, but now you want to overthrow the government and become communist? Are you more of an American than the guy that just got his citizenship like last week?
Yeah, that climbed over glass and freaking through pipes and freaking slept in fields and, you know, had to protect his daughter from being freaking assaulted on numerous occasions. You're more American if you want to overthrow the nation?
Not in the least, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
He would argue, but I'm like, because this country was established by people that were willing to fight and die to establish this country. If you're willing to fight to become an American, to me, that makes you more of an American than the guy that was born into it and wants to become a communist.
Absolutely.
To me, that it changes that whole equation. But when it comes to like you know, this true Chinese or any culture that wants to come here and not assimilate and be beholden to their original culture, I don't care if you're Chinese, Japanese, you're Mexican, you know, whatever you are, Swahili, it doesn't matter. That then puts you on that line of, are you an American just because you have a citizenship? You're beholden to a foreign power.
Yeah. You
may have a whole citizenship, but you really are saying, I'm going to do what the foreign power wants me to do because I have more allegiance to them. I don't care if you're Mexican and you have more allegiance to Mexico. Well, I don't know if you're really American.
No.
To me, that's, you have to fall under the ideology.
Yeah, you've got to be here and you got to get into the culture. You've got to become what it is. And I think a vast majority of people that come here want that. And
I think the vast majority, yeah.
Yeah, I think they do. They, you know, they come here. They want to wave the flag. They look at it like, you know, Reagan said, that's it. We're the beacon on the hill, right? We're the light on the hill. This is what people want. And they want to, they want the apple pie and baseball and all that stuff.
And I think if we stress assimilation more, we have less fear of this because, you know what, the Chinese built our railroads. They were part of Americana. You know, we only talk about one group that ever built anything, apparently. Only the black people ever built anything in this country.
They built our railroad.
But no, a lot of people built a lot of things. Chinese aren't not a part of American society.
Yeah.
They aren't. They are.
The difference, though, the Chinese built our railroads. And when we think about China, we don't think China's not always been a communist nation.
No. Nope.
No. And so, you know, when you think of Kwai Chang Kang from, you know, Kung Fu and back in the day, he wasn't escaping Chairman Mao.
No, he wasn't. Exactly. Which is a bit of a religion. That whole thing. It's a religion. So that, you know, they're a convert to something that's hard to. But then look at Dearborn, Michigan, and some of these places, they're now allowing the cities to do calls to prayer in America. They're waving, you know, flags from their countries, not American flags.
No, you shouldn't be doing that. Serious. You shouldn't be doing
that. No, not at all.
No, that right there is something where you look and you go, you're here. This is what you've come here. You put yourself in a position to come here, maybe even blessed enough to get their name pulled out of a hat where you are now able to immigrate to a country. In the country you're coming to, if you're going to be who you were from the country you were at, you're just going to do it here and use our resources, you can fuck off. 100%. If you want to come here and freaking, you know, wear the red, white, and blue and freaking be as Uncle Sam as everybody else, I'll welcome you with open arms. But do not pretend 100%. That, you know, you've got to want it. And I said, look, there are people that have come here and they don't want to be here forever, right? Their family's back in Mexico or Honduras and they want to earn some money and eventually go home. And okay, you're here for a booty call, but you don't hate
a green card. That's what you call a green card.
But if I want to know if you're going to be here, you want to put a ring on it.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, the media, which I do hate a lot and detest, because you're like, if Christians had a city like Dearborn, that they were waving Christian flags,
They do. Well, not so much a Christian flag, but they call it
whatever it was. And they were saying, we're going to have, we're going to admit prayers in school, and we're going to do all this stuff. The media would be, backflipping. The Democrats would be literally probably.
They call that. Yeah, but you know what, Paul? There are areas like that. There are areas of Jewish world. Salt Lake City is another one of those things. I mean, there are areas like that, but the difference is, it is not the same kind of thing.
Dude, they want to put in Sharia law. They do. They want to, but like they're going to the point of having, Muslim patrols, like in Britain. The Muslims have control of certain sections of London. I was thinking, if Christians did that, you would hear no end to the whining.
Oh, we get it. They do that now.
I don't know if a Christian. I'd love to see a Christian.
You can, dude. You and I'd be in trouble just for the shit we're talking about tonight.
In what?
If given some, because, I mean, dude. Because let's be real, dude. There's a lot of people out there. I'm in the South, dude. You ain't in the South. There's a lot of 80s Christian parents in the South that still want to run it that way. Remember when Grandma used to take us out? Somebody'd say damn in the theater. We're like, fuck, we got to go now. Right? How many times did we walk out of a theater? Have you ever seen that?
The difference is that's not controlling what's in the theater. It's controlling what you look at.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Grandma had her choice, it'd only been the apple dumpling game every 100%. Fucking kid.
Well, I love Jaws. I had to memorize every cuss word because I had to mute it so I could watch it.
I know.
Do you realize the difference is, instead of me just hearing it, I had to memorize every cuss word and where it was.
Yeah. That did not help.
It's actually the opposite.
Yeah. Grandma, you drove me to cussing.
You literally, I literally remember half the dialogue of that movie because I'm like, in order to watch it, I had to make sure I muted cuss words so she didn't hear them.
No idea. Growing up, Grandma said we're going to watch a movie, and my first reaction was like, I don't fucking want to watch a movie because it's just going to be me being nervous because it's going to be a movie I'm going to get into. It's going to be the Goonies, or it's going to be something, and somebody's going to say something, and Grandma's going to look at us. Then she's going to go in the other room, and she's going to hear one more word, and she's going to storm out with her freaking little thing on her chocolate, and she's going to turn the damn movie off, and you and I are going to stare at each other because the movie we wanted to watch, who had 2 bad words in it, she heard it, and our lights ruined.
And it's at the best part too.
Yeah.
It's like right at you're like, what's happened? Oh, we'll never know. We'll never know until we get older.
I don't know. I never got to see the end of Goonies. Why? I don't know, Grandma. Why?
Oh, well, trust me. That one, when they were putting the penis on the statue, that was enough.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to Indiana Jones.
Exactly. And that's why I got really good at memorizing, listening very closely to memorize because then she would be off, wouldn't have a big house so she could hear it. And I'd be like, click, click, make sure none of the cuss words could be heard.
But the problem was, but are there people like that? Yeah, I don't know.
Again, that was us.
Are they doing it in Dearborn, Michigan? I don't think they have the calls to prayer, did they?
It was. What was it? Was it? Maybe it was another big. It was a big city.
Kalamazoo,
Michigan. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was a big city that just did calls to prayer.
Really? Yeah, because I thought there was that. Let's see, Michigan and
Minneapolis,
Dearborn. Yeah.
So in Minneapolis, it's going to be 5 times a day. It was a historic decision in the Minneapolis city that they will be doing calls to prayer, and the left and the Democrats silent.
Well, they're pissed.
I haven't heard a word from them. I haven't heard one. I haven't heard MSNBC do special reports on it.
No, dude, they're beyond pissed. You want to know why? Because they were very excited that some of them won all of these city council seats. And the first thing they did when they got in there is they said, no more fucking rainbow flags. No more pride month. And the fucking left was like, oh my God. But they didn't know what to do because these people were, they were people of color and we can't say no. But that's like, no, they're like, we don't fucking do rainbow flags. I'm like, oh, you guys are about to find out.
You're about to find out exactly how
you're going to freaking, you guys are about to find out. Some of these people are really serious about this, right?
And it's like that
this is different than the magic underwear from the Mormons.
It's very different. But what's that town that's just for white people they're building?
Oh, the one out here in Arkansas?
Is it Arkansas? Yeah.
Crackerland. I don't know what it's called.
I saw more reports on that than I saw on calls to prayer in a giant city. There's like 5 white people that go, we're going to do something dumb. And the media goes mad. an entire city changes, and the media's like, yeah, okay, I guess.
No,
Acceptance and love.
Actually, by the way, the weird thing is the prayer for Dearborn, that's been going on since 1937.
Well, not Minneapolis. Not apparently.
No, Minneapolis.
This is a new thing. Islam's Call to Prayer is ringing out in more cities too. I guess Minneapolis.
Dearborn since the 80s, though it's been on the on the loudspeaker. But
imagine if the Lord's Prayer 5 times a day was done by a pastor across the entire city of Minneapolis. It would be nonstop separation of church and state, which is nowhere in the Constitution, and they would have been just attacking it left and right. They were talking about how these evil, intolerant Christians. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem. What I'm saying is why is it one group can do it and the other? Well, if a bunch of white people want to get together and make a city, do it, dude.
One group can. If the Christians want to go to make a city, they can.
But that's not part of Christian doctrine.
No, that's not part of Christian, And the thing is, and the Dearborn, they're not saying you can't be a Christian and live there.
For now.
No, they're not going to say that. We're not that kind of. That's not going to happen.
Look what's going on in London right now with the St. George flag or whatever.
Yeah,
that's from the point of.
So it started in Birmingham, and
it's getting a little weird.
It's getting a lot weird. So it started in Birmingham, and what ended up happening is somebody put up flags, and the St. George's flag, and which is it's the cross, St. George's cross. It's
like a red cross,
the Union Jack,
red cross,
Union Jack. And then the city council took it down, and then it was Operation fuck you or whatever it was, and now they start putting them everywhere. And then they asked Keir Starmer, who's on the left, what he thought about it. He goes, I think it's great. We should be patriotic. He goes, there's no reason we shouldn't hide our flag.
Well, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and
but there's clashes now. There's Muslims that are clashing.
Here's the funny thing, dude. Here's the funny thing. A vast majority of the Muslims, I saw a bunch of them out there waving the St. George's flag. They're like, this is our fucking country. We've come here. They've given this right. And it's the whiny, weird liberals who were afraid.
Liberals.
Yeah. Well, and then there was this sense that some people, because look, there's some shit that's there. It's about ready to pop off over there in some areas.
Well, like the little 12-year-old that was defending himself against the
little Scottish girl.
Little Scottish girl with an axe and a knife.
Yeah, she's like, "Fuck you."
She was like Braveheart. I was like, "You're a rocking little kid."
Yeah,
she's. Yeah, I don't know the whole story behind that, but if some guy was even like, I don't know, grabbed her or something.
What she says was, he asked one of the girls for the phone number, and then they said no. And then she said that he groped her or hit her, and the other people in the park were like, not really. But then she was egging for a fight though. She was like, shing.
Where do you get that? I don't even know where to find an axe.
People were even asking that. Like, where did she get that shit?
And she was just two-handed.
Yeah, she's like, bring it on. You want to fucking fight me, you bastard? Oh, kill you.
It's a 12-year-old who's asking for a number, even if he didn't grab her and grope her and everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old he was.
He's a grown man.
Is that because the thing is, I never saw him. All I saw is the holding it up.
So I don't know because I haven't. Yeah. But he was 20-something. It's like if I went to a playground and was like, "Hey, 12-year-old, can I get your number?" If they pull out a knife, I deserve it.
She's just like, "You bastard!" It was like Braveheart.
Yeah.
They'll never take away our freedom. Exactly. I'm like,
like, dude, we need more of that.
Yeah, it was pretty. I
don't see what less that because I just don't see. Yeah, to me, it's like.
I played that today on the show, and I had to translate it for the guys. They're like, "What?"
Yeah, it's hard to understand.
Tell you what else she said. She called.
It really is.
Fuckers. She's listening here to you fuckers.
They don't. They act like they speak English. They don't.
They don't. Even the Brits are like, "What are you?"
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I have no idea.
Did you ever see that one? It was a British comedy where the Scottish people it was a voice activated elevator and they couldn't get out of it. They were stuck because it couldn't understand what floor they wanted to be on.
Pretty much.
And they're like screaming at it. It's like, please state a destination.
Yeah, don't you go on the floor 3. What?
Exactly. It's like, yeah, it's like
That was interesting though to watch that whole freaking like I thought, oh my God, she's gonna stay because she was loaded for bear.
Oh, 100%.
I think she wanted, like, I want to stab you.
She did. But you know what? You look at the rape statistics and stuff that's happening.
There's some issues.
There's some issues. So could have they groped her?
Absolutely. 100% could have been. And the problem happened, first of all, they allowed way too many people to come over. And in doing so, they then decided that a lot of these people were going to get certain things that people have been waiting years to get above them. And then when all of that said and done, it was you guys also don't have to integrate, which you can't have a society that is successful without integration.
Well, this is where I get slightly racist because isn't that white savior complex?
Oh, super white savior.
Because complex. You go to Mexico, you go to anywhere else in the world. I want free stuff. Screw you, dude. They don't. It's like, okay, you get free nothing. If you want to work for something, get it, but you get free nothing.
Yeah.
In white countries, it's like, oh, brown people, we need to help them, dude.
It's a white savior complex. It's also, you know what? It's also, we're wealthy. You guys have taken a boat for 12 days. There was 40 of you. There's only 32 left. And there's this weird, you've come from a war-torn area. So there comes the white savior complex.
It's white savior complex.
Are you going to add value to my society?
No, because if you've seen, Japan and Singapore, and because you can argue they have a much higher standard of living than a lot of Europeans, they're not letting people in like that. It's a white savior complex. Also, the Japanese and the Singaporeans and stuff, they're not like, oh, we have to help the world. At least they have a very nice culture that's very clean streets, clean everything. It's not going to mess that up.
So you go to like Dubai. You can eat off the streets.
Yeah. And they're not going to just let people in because you're poorer than us. You're right. Most people are poorer than people in Dubai.
And it's very interesting. There's conventional, the whole thing about the Israel and Palestine is there is 2 rules of thought. Everybody's like, well, nobody wants to take the Palestinians. Partially true. The other part is a lot of Palestinians already live in other countries. These countries can't afford to take it. And now you're going to ask us to spend $50 billion, every year. The other part of it is there is some conventional thought over there that, you know what? Yeah, well, fucking Israel, you're the worst. It said Saudi Arabia and everybody else. And then they're like, we don't give a shit. You know what? We should turn it into Miami.
Yeah. I am of the belief that
don't blow up the dome.
100%. But this concept that we're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again, and we're going to get a different result is idiotic. The world needs to open up and go, let's try something new.
Well, that 100%.
Let's try something new.
It's not, there is a fear, as much as there's some people out there that, want them to be the new UAE, the Dubai and, Qatar and all that kind of stuff. They don't want it to be Miami. That's the big fear is, okay, we're going to let the West come in and all of a sudden it's going to become Jennifer Lopez and freaking, it's going to be Miami nightlife and drinking. They're not ready for that. But do they want kind of what the other nations have? Yeah, they kind of do. And, but you've also got to deal with, 2.5, 3 million people.
And you're right. But isn't it funny how they would go, that's colonization, but they can come here and have calls to prayer in Minneapolis? Yeah, we couldn't set up a thing in, say, Saudi Arabia even that said, we got bars at every street, strip clubs, gay pride parades, and everything happening here. They would never allow that.
No.
But if they come here, we got to change.
Yeah, but you and I could go over there and we could worship and we could worship and they're not going to do anything to us, but you're not going to go out and freaking, you're not going to go out and preach the gospel on the corner. Of course, they also don't do that. Outside of the call to prayer, they don't do that either. They're very, and it's funny because it's weird because you look at this and you think, and Palestine's a bad place to think about. You got to look at Syria more so than anything else, or some of these other places. The war torn fucking buildings are gone. You go look at freaking just up the road. It's It's freaking the most modern cities on the planet.
Exactly. You know what? I hate to say it. I was listening to this Palestine. He's a doctor now, and he was talking about how horrible Palestine was because they didn't have electricity a lot of the time. He had like dirt floors. They had to work instead of go to school, and they didn't always have enough to eat. He's this whole story. I'm like, you're talking about my dad's life, you piece of garbage. He never whined once. You're a doctor now, so this life you grew up in,
but the
that
thing
you say is so horrible.
I think what he's saying is, Grandpa got to go make something of himself and come to America.
So
they won't
he
even let
became
you
a
go
doctor.
anywhere else.
He became a doctor, so they had to have.
So
he's now a doctor.
Yeah, but
so they had to have allowed him out.
But here's the thing, though, Paul. Grandpa, you go to Mexico now, it's not like that. Mexico City and shit isn't like that. There was never anything like that outside of the West Bank-ish.
I bet you if I go back to Grandma's house in Mexicali, it's not that far away. If I go back to some parts of Mexico,
Grandpa put enough money into.
He did put enough money into it, so yeah, that's
true. Grandpa, the neighbor may not have fucking.
The neighbor, I don't think, yeah.
Grandpa did,
but it's like you're giving me a sob story, and I look at most of the world, and they go, "Well, you lived better than people in the Sudan. You live better than people in some parts of India. They lived horribly. You whine more than the Indians whine, than the Sudanese whine, than the Mexicans whine, and a lot of South America. You guys are just this perpetual, we're being persecuted. Go suck it."
They are. So much of it is kind of like that. At the same time, I look over and I see Israel and I go, okay, well, what are we going to do? Because you guys can't kill them all because you're already going to become a pariah. You've lost the younger generation globally, by the way, and that's not coming back for a while. So, but what are we going to do realistically that is going to better this situation? And yeah, you know what? They need to be treated like humans because I look and God says we're supposed to be the peacekeeper. Everybody's created in his image. So how do we treat them? And their value isn't less. How do we get them to the point where they have the opportunity? And it's, if you live a life where you got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath mortgage, you're probably not thinking about blowing your neighbor up.
No, but also the problem is you're believing that they will put Christian concepts. The whole everybody's created equal and stuff, that's Christian concepts. They're not Christians, they're Muslims. They have a core belief system that differs from ours.
Here's the funny thing. You're talking about them in a way that Saudi Arabia is not like that. UAE, Qatar, Dubai. Dude, I got friends who live over there. They love it. It is not that. It is
they're too rich to go and
suicide bomb. The point is, though, they've got themselves to the point where they've become modern. They don't have to live in a perpetual war state.
But also that fundamentalist Islamic concept did not take them over like that. Their women aren't put into. I was just watching one. Was there some women, I forgot what state, they have to perpetually wear their no faces or anything out. Yeah. They can't speak in public. Even at home, they must speak in low things. It's like it wasn't always like that. Again, the Islamic, fundamentalist Islam takes over and it destroys. I would argue fundamental Islam took over most of Palestine and the Palestinians. Because Hamas,
everybody thinks that everybody there is they're not. They know they're stuck between shit and Israel.
They clapped and cheered with the Hamas fighters bringing hostages back into Palestine. Everybody acts like they're all innocent. And if I saw those crowds of people around them, I'm like cheering and happy that this is happening.
You take that and the fact that a vast majority of the Jews are totally fine that they all starve to death. That's not very humane and Christian.
No, but the difference is we vilify all the Jews and we're like, all the Palestinians are completely innocent.
No, not all the Palestinians are completely innocent.
There's of course some innocent people.
No, that's not. But you even by their own account, dude, they're killing on a level that we've never even seen in war when it comes to civilians, even on their own account.
According to historical account, though, Dresden, how many people did we kill?
But you're talking about 50 million, 100 million people comparatively to 2 million people. We didn't. By the way, I think Dresden, it was about 51% civilians to,
Didn't we kill 100,000 or more?
By Israel's account, it's 83% of the people that are killed are civilians compared to them. And that's their account because any boy over the age of like 12 or 13 is considered kind of Hamas. So it's probably closer to 90%. And that's
how many Pol Pot kill? Nobody cares. 60 million?
2.5. No, Pol Pot killed what, 2 to 3 million?
No, it was closer to Pol Pot killed like 60 million people.
No, Pol Pot, the Cambodian leader, Khmer Rouge. I mean, Khmer Rouge, they didn't have that many in Cambodia.
Oh, okay. No. It was Mao, I think, that there's more 60.
2 million. The total Cambodia population was 7 to 8. You're thinking of Mao.
I think of Mao.
Dude, get your Asians right. Fuck,
yeah,
dude.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Pol Pot killed
your
that.
Racism is so strong.
So strong. And nobody cared.
Nope. Everybody cared about Pol Pot.
Nothing happened. I didn't hear about Pol Pot. Khmer Rouge is a.
How did you not hear about Pol Pot? Paul, we were one of the first cities in America to get the boat people.
100%. And one of my best friends is the boat people, Laura.
Yeah.
They came over because of the refugee from this. That's her parents came over. But this reaction to Israel is not the same as the reaction to Pol Pot. He killed vast more of his own people. Like we said, look at Hitler. If he just stayed in Germany, he could have killed all the Jews and we probably wouldn't have said anything because that's just how people usually react.
Well, you're killing your
like, where'd they go? I don't know. I misplaced them.
Once you leave, all bets are off.
All bets are off. Israel's never left, but we hate them.
Well, they were brought in and then they've never left.
They never left. They're still in their land.
So, not these people's land. These, freaking none of these people were born and raised there. That's the other thing, though. Think about this. If you lived there 75 years ago and your family's been there for 100 years and all of a sudden these Jews show up and they're like, it's their land now. That's kind of an odd thing, even if you were a Bedouin.
Like I said,
you worked the land, you fished the waters, and it's not yours anymore.
Tell it to the Aborigines, tell it to the South Africans.
Yeah, how'd that work? And how'd that all work for them? How did dude?
When's the last time you see people waving an Aborigine found for justice for Aborigines? Because the
Australians, they do the same thing. Here's the thing, Paul. We live in a world where I don't think you realize, because you've never been outside the country, we're the most dominant fucking media on the planet. Our fucking life here, whether it's chaos. Do you know what was leading all the news today in Europe? The shooting in Minnesota. That's a shooting in Minnesota. That was leading their world. That's how big our media. It was leading in Australia.
Were they even at least covering it better than ours? Because it was a trans anti-Trump.
At the time when I watched an hour of this, they didn't even know who the person was yet at that point in time because they didn't know how many people had died because it was still, they were saying it was 20, that it was 2 people that were shot. It was they weren't even. It was still fluid. There was none of that, and then I had to go on the air. But we are the most dominant media. And I don't even think people realize most people couldn't even tell you fucking what an Aborigine is or where Australia is,
because we're programmed to be angry at what they want us to be.
No, because we're so fucking big, it really doesn't matter. The rest of the world is nothing to us,
unless one of the tiniest parts of the world everybody seems to care about all of a sudden,
because we treat them as if they get to treat us in a way that nobody else on the planet. Let's be real. Name one nation that has the sway and power that Israel has over us.
England.
It's not even fucking close, dude. If they told us today,
they own more of us than China does.
China, we have a trade deal with China, and they're on footing because as far as the size, but how many wars has China got us into?
How many wars has Europe got us into? I can literally count wars. They got us into World War I. They got us into World War II. They got us into giant wars.
World War II was a little bit of, we did get kind of attacked. And then the Nazis decided to declare war on us.
But that's all a European thing. We stayed out of it.
The Japanese didn't attack Europe. They attacked us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because the Japanese is they back then they loved to attack everybody.
Dude, they did, man. The Chinese, I go fucking read the raping of
the King. Yep.
Holy shit.
The Japanese were just like, we're going to attack next.
People think that World War II started in 1939. It didn't. The Japanese were freaking raiding all over China and all over Asia.
All over Asia. Not North Korea. It wasn't North.
Yeah. You name it. Yeah, it wasn't just China. People think just went to China. No. They were freaking fighting everybody all the time.
Yep.
They were a feudal society when everybody else, like the Ming Dynasty and all these other, no, they were feudalizing everywhere.
You're right. I mean, our media controls everything, but it controls everything. Like any logical person says, there's been multiple mass shootings by non-binary trans people that hate Christians and hate Trump. There should be something. There's a movement on the left that is a violent, vile movement that it seems to be activated in people with mental disorders. You won't hear any of this talk. You'll hear about how, probably they were oppressed by Christians. That's why they're going to shoot up a Christian place.
No. The difference, though, see, and this is the thing. You're always down on the media, and I understand that. But, Fox is already hammering that person all day long. Newsmax is destroying him. NBC is not going to cover it the same way. That's the way it is. But nobody goes there, so who cares?
Well, you're right. Thank God that nobody, and they're seeing it, but they still seem to drive more of a policy, and I think that needs to change. We should look at policy and say, guess what? It's a mental disorder that needs help. It is not a lifestyle change or a sexuality fluidness or any of this. There's a mental disorder that clearly needs help because of the last few shooters. 6 or 7 of them have all been trans, targeting specific targets like churches.
Well, you had but I mean, again,
they're the new hate group. If a bunch of white guys were targeting only black churches, imagine what the media would be saying.
Yeah, they only did that, I don't know, through most of the last century.
and look how they're taught. You're not going to hear the same type of rhetoric when it comes to this. You're not going to hear.
But the difference is, let's be real, dude. If we're going to go back and look at what happened in the churches and all that kind of stuff, it pales in comparison to what these idiots are doing. And this person was mentally ill. There's no doubt. I mean, mentally, I mean, they thought they had cancer because they vaped.
They wrote a very coherent thing about I love my family, even down to the last basis relative. Don't make up with mom. Thank you guys for supporting me.
Make up with mom. Life's too short.
Life's too short. Thank you guys for supporting me. I love you guys. I know you're going to hate what I did. Don't read my journals. You'll be shocked.
Yeah. What was the other thing they said? Oh, I'm sorry about, tell everybody that, the victims that I'm sorry about what I did.
And then he writes out, death to Trump.
Apparently he'd been thinking about this since he was like 14.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
Yeah, we have this weird fascination that you don't have other places where, because we have school shootings, we have this weird fascination in this country of this bizarre Columbine kind of cult thing, which is an odd fucking thing.
His family embraced his mental disorder. I don't know how he afforded that many guns.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I know, like the shotguns, like let's say, well, we're in California, so it might be, but like $500 to $600. The handguns, a good handgun is around $800. That's what I have to pay for stuff like that. His one rifle was probably closer to $1,500 to $2,000 here.
Well, how long did he have him though? I mean, did he have him over years? I don't know.
But so who paid for that? So who saw him gathering this arsenal?
That's what I want to know. That to me is a bigger issue.
Here's the issue. It's a liberal mindset. My son has a mental disorder and I'm allowing him to collect weapons.
That's to me is the bigger issue.
That's a mental disorder.
That to me is the bigger issue.
No. It's an embraced. Oh, I love you because you have a mental disorder and you're collecting weapons.
Yeah. You need to look into this. Where was the calling in to? Like,
you couldn't, because it's a liberal nut job state. They'd have been like,
no, they have one of the strongest red flags because it's a state.
You said, why do you think your son's mentally disabled?
No, they would have come
he's a woman.
Because once you start talking about guns, that all would have went away. The trans thing ends at that moment. If somebody's crazy, if somebody's loony, if somebody's willing to even kill themselves, they're not going to let that go. Why though did nobody in his family or nobody in his friendship circle say, dude, I think you're starting to fucking come unhinged?
And because they would have been transphobic. And I thought trans people were more likely to kill themselves. He had tons of ability to kill himself without killing someone else.
Yeah, he could have unalived himself first. And if that didn't work, then figure something out. But, I don't know why it's this weird thing though, dude. We have this weird fucking thing in our world where I go back to the movie Tombstone, right? When Wyatt's talking to freaking Doc and he's in the bed and they say, why does Ringo do what he does? And he goes, he's got a great big hole. And no matter how much he kills, no matter what he does, he can't fill that for what he's trying to get revenge for. What? For being born. These human beings that are so angry all the time, whether it's two guys that accidentally look at each other at the fair and they take out guns and start shooting each other, or somebody who thinks they're this or that. And the next thing you know, they're out there going, I'm going to kill everybody because so-and-so thinks I'm not a woman, or this person who thinks I can't like these people. It's this hatred of and anger and getting revenge on the world. And it's never the people. You went and shut up a church of pre-K to 8th graders, but apparently his mom worked there,
which is another weird one.
Yeah.
So what was his animosity? His mom, who sounded like they were incredibly religious, accepted his insanity and nurtured it, taught him to change his name.
Maybe they got to the point where they're like, look, you wanted to play the pretend game for a while. We're not into this. You're not doing this, this, and this.
It didn't seem like it.
He was writing, he didn't have anything to do with them, and he was writing letters of,
his dad posted a happy birthday to his new name with a trans flag.
Yeah.
I think his family was supportive, and that's the scary thing. Your son has a mental disorder and is gathering weapons, and you're supportive and not questioning.
The gathering weapons thing, that was you should, you're an American, you haven't done anything wrong, you should have every right to defend yourself. But somewhere along the line, you went from defending yourself to it was evident you weren't well.
Well, here's my thing. I believe in, everybody should be able to own a gun, but not crazy people.
No way.
That's where we draw the line. If you're insane, you can't own a gun. And I think that we need to we have to stop letting the left's cult run policy. And that's what's happening. A person that's trans is not mentally stable. It just is not. It's still in the DSM. It's everything. It's a mental disorder, according to
look, we consider, like, I look at somebody like, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, whatever you want to say. I don't think that anything's wrong with, but waited and also went through it. Didn't do it when they were 20 or 15 or whatever. Was what, 65 or 70? Whatever. Do I think I worry more about driving than I do.
I don't think Caitlyn Jenner is gonna kill someone, but it doesn't mean that that's not
driving.
Disorder. Yeah, well, maybe they would, but
I heard stories.
It's it doesn't mean it's not a mental disorder. Just because someone can live a life with a mental disorder, which happens all the time, and like I said, science in the DSM, it's still classified as a mental disorder.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, yes, DSM-5. It's still a mental disorder.
No. I thought they took that out.
Maybe in a DSM-6, which is not out yet.
Really? No, I thought they took it out. Isn't that the whole thing with the guy at Johns Hopkins who he went away for the weekend and they changed all the DSMs and everything?
Oh, that's funny. They changed it to gender dysphoria from gender identity disorder.
So that's still not considered a mental disorder anymore. So
it says they aim to reduce and ensure clinical care for identify other than their biological sex. And there still is a gender dysphoria in children.
Let's see here. Major medical organizations, the APA, the WHO, AMA, WPATH, affirm that transgender people are not mentally ill for their identity.
Yeah, the AMA though. Did you see that? Do you see it? And it got leaked. I think Daily Caller leaked it. It was their the head of AMA, and the guy was presenting them data about how nothing in their policies about transgender seems to line up with the study. And the head of the AMA started doing this to him, making that sign. You're like, you're not listening to the data. You're just
fun.
You're the head of the AMA, and you're mocking him instead of saying, "Let's."
Really, I didn't see that part. That was pretty.
It's hilarious. Let's discuss this. Let's see. Let's see the data, and let's make a logical, stance on how we should present it. Nope, it was just like, this is what I believe. Your data is meaningless.
Yeah,
and you're
unless it affirms my belief, your data.
Belief, and that's the head of the AMA.
Yeah.
So the soft sciences like psychology are politically motivated.
Of
I
course,
think
of course.
because any true data isn't considered as foundational as a feeling data.
Well, and that because it's all about. Remember, it's it's a gender is a construct.
Yep.
Okay.
And
It's a
that's a
social
cultish stuff.
it's not a social well, no, but it is a social construct. Well, it's not. No. This is sex is biology is not a construct. That's real. Your belief that you're something else, well, that's on you, whatever. I mean, again, if I say I'm Batman, it doesn't mean I'm Batman.
Well, I don't understand. If my genitals don't describe my sex, then why do I go through a sex change?
Yeah. Well, they don't. See, here's the thing, dude. That's the other thing.
They
Very
wear
few,
dresses, they do everything.
but very few actually go through it anymore because what they're
Well, it's
learning
a mess.
is
Yeah,
it's a fucking mess.
it's a mess.
And they're also learning that they may want to have kids one day. And there is no going back from this. Right? There is no like if you get rid of you get rid of your ding dong, they're not building you a whole vagina that you like.
You can't, yeah.
And if they're giving you if they're giving you a wiener, it ain't gonna be the wiener that you're hoping they're crafting.
Which is experimentation on people. Which this whole concept is basically Nazi medical experiments that's been embraced because of I don't know why. You have literally people with mental disorders that we've allowed doctors to experiment on.
Yeah.
That's
See, the
disgusting.
kids, like, if you're 40 and you want to do whatever you want with your life, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you want to put a tail on. Live your life.
I do. A doctor should never mutilate a human being ever. They do, but I don't think they ever should.
No. Well, yeah, but they also, I mean, I think we'd all be shocked to find out how many people, how many instruments get left in human bodies. You probably
look at that guy that wants to be a lizard and he has a forked tongue and he's
by the way, I don't think doctors do that. Those are body modifiers.
People it wasn't. I thought he went to a plastic surgeon to do that, and I'm like, no.
People put those freaking horns and stuff in.
Yep.
No,
like you shouldn't be allowed to do that as a doctor. You should be like, I can't do that for you, dude.
Yeah, no, they won't because they're not going to. But there's it's a weird thing, But for me though, it's my body. I give a shit, right? If it's my body, I can do whatever I want. Isn't that what you ladies say? If I want to sell my kidney, I keep going back to that. I'm not saying I want to sell it, but I'm not saying
I'm not saying I'm not. But if it's your body, if a woman, has the right to her own body, if the baby's also a woman, what happens then?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Oh wait, but a woman has I don't know what's happened.
When does it become a woman?
Oh, when it just chooses. That's why this is there.
That's it.
It's not a woman until it chooses to be. But then any abortion, you took it away their right to choose what they were.
To choose.
They could have been a woman at any time.
A guy a few years ago that sued his parents because he wasn't asked if he wanted to be born.
How dare they?
How
dare they not somehow use a psychic or something to get into there to find out if he wanted to be born?
Yeah. Okay, well then you're unhappy, right? Then you go to Canada. They'll put you to sleep.
They will. But also, you know what? At the end of the day, toughen up, people.
Yeah.
Toughen up. If you're not happy, find things that make you happy. You have control in your own life. For the most part, I mean, maybe you're in jail or something. That's different. But, for the most part, people have control. And a lot of these people that are loudest about being unhappy, you're like, you're able-bodied person.
They have the most privilege.
You have the able-bodied person. Yeah.
You have the most privilege because you can bitch about being unhappy. You know who can't? Actually, for real? People in the middle of the South Sudan who are fighting for their lives. Palestinians who are like, I was just here and all of a sudden I got blowed up. People in the middle of actual wars throughout South America.
Christians in most Middle Eastern countries. Crippled people. Like I just saw a guy that he was very happy. He does his little videos, but he's literally in a bed and he's.
Oh, is that the guy with where he blows into the straw and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see him whining.
No.
He literally, he's making the best out of his life, and that's got to be a hard life. But I hear perfectly able-bodied people that are probably middle to upper middle class, nonstop hear them whine.
And you know why? Because they have nothing else.
They got nothing else.
Because they when you are in a position where you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Right? Like the poor people rarely start a revolution. It's usually lonely, freaking sad, upper middle class, wealthy people who are bored because everything's easy and they feel that the lower class deserves a little something. And this is my way to help. But you know, it's you don't
Well,
see.
look at the founding fathers were all pretty well off people.
Yeah.
Because if they were super poor, the tax wouldn't have meant anything.
Che Guevara. And he wasn't a broke ass.
Osama bin Laden.
Why? All those people that started revolutions, they all came from where? Colleges, right? You know, and then they go and they find the people. And, hey, yeah, you guys don't even know. You're a poor sugar farmer. And he's like, I am? Yeah. You should be mad because they got casinos in Havana and you don't get to go. And he's like, what's a fucking casino? Pick up a gun and let's go freaking tear him down. And then I'll repress you later. Yeah.
And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna drive 50s cars forever.
Forever.
That's what our plan is. Forever.
We're gonna have the greatest doctors with no medicine.
No medicine. Do you have an MRI? A what?
You guys have no idea. Everybody here is gonna learn how to read. What can you read? Nothing. I just want you to learn how to do it, and you're all gonna learn how to play baseball.
Exactly. And have what I call wannabe Mexican food.
Yeah. Fucking Cuban
it's
food.
like everything Cuban does. It's like, this is carnitas, but not quite.
Yeah.
This is
it's carnitas.
Quite.
But why is there a snout looking at me?
It's like,
you know, this is,
it took one step over.
Yeah. Everything's a pork sandwich.
Yeah.
Can I have some chicken tacos? Okay. And then comes, it's like, it's pork sandwich. Those are chicken tacos. No, it's a pork sandwich.
And I am biased as a fat person. My chili rellenos and my tacos and that stuff I love. Yesterday, I was coming back from a meeting, and I'm in this horrible part of LA, like horrible. And I stop at the Carl's Jr., and I'm starting to eat my burger, and I look over, and there's a little hole in the wall that says carnitas, slow cooked carnitas, and I'm like, I could have made the better turn. I should have went to this little hole in the wall in the middle of nowhere in this bad area of Los Angeles and probably had the best carnitas, because a good carnita is like slow cooked for 8 to 12 hours.
Oh, it's amazing. And
then it's amazing. And this little whole crappy little restaurant probably had amazing, because it was selling, you know, like your mom used to make, you know, old, you know, slow cooked carnitas. And I'm sitting there at my Carl's Jr. going, I make poor decisions sometimes.
I've made another poor decision.
This is a poor decision.
Poor decision, Paul.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna go. You should probably go work because I've got to go do an interview.
Oh my goodness! Go do a big interview.
What's his name? Gavin Newsom.
Oh, he's horrible.
He's something. He's the great me. Here's the thing: for all the stuff that the left's not paying attention to, which is a lot.
Anything important?
The funny thing is, Gavin is throwing all his eggs in his basket about getting this across the line for redistricting. And if he doesn't, this is his first foray into becoming the president if he wants to. Because if he fails at this, he's got no chance of even getting the nomination.
I'm not sure it's going to succeed. Most of Californians don't like it.
Californians are like, no. Like,
we don't want this.
No.
So I'm not so sure he can do it. And he's not king, even though he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Funny,
yeah,
that's interesting.
He doesn't want to be king of California.
He wants to be king of, yep.
Yeah.
Do you know how terrified it is if I saw him being sworn in as president, living in California, and knowing how horrible he is?
Yeah.
Just last night, we were dodging homeless people running around the middle of the street. No joke. Every day, it's a new adventure here.
I know. I keep telling them, guys, it's like golf. The lower number's better. You're not trying to raise the number.
And literally, they're just, because they're on some kind of drugs. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, why is every day an adventure and crazy?
It's The Walking Dead, dude.
It is. Yeah. And you don't see this everywhere. You see it in California.
You do. You see it in California. You see it in Seattle. You see it in Portland. Every day I get a text message from one of my listeners in Portland who'll say something like, saw a couple people having sex on the off-ramp, Matt, but it was in the middle of the day.
Yep. And this guy's wearing black at night. And you're like, if I hit him, I'd be in jail.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
And he's just running crazy through the streets. Yeah. You're like, dude.
And the thing is, You're so conditioned anymore. Like you're sitting at a light and somebody will come, they're dressed like a chicken in the middle of the street, not in the crosswalk.
No.
And they're walking in circles. And then there's another little old lady pushing something by, and she's got a dog, but the dog is dead. And she's got like a bird in her hair, and everybody's just fucking sitting there,
here's the best. We were at dinner in a not a bad neighborhood, dinner in just a little it's a Korean barbecue place. And all of a sudden I feel a tap on my shoulder. It's this woman. She wants to know if I care about my loved ones. Nope. She exactly not really. Most of them are dead. I don't care the guy, but she's like wanting to warn people. And I look over to the table next. There's a couple next to us, and we're just like, okay. She's trying to warn us that something bad's. And then of course the Korean, the waiters and stuff get around her and do that trying to get her out. Like exactly. You'll go now.
No.
But it was just like that's how prevalent it is.
Yeah.
She just snuck in the back of this restaurant and started like whatever crazy thing was in her poor mind.
It's just, I remember in Palm Springs, ball dangler. We still laugh. It's a guy, he would wear the shortest mini skirts and he would just sit there and he'd cross his legs and his balls would just fall out everywhere.
Yeah.
What's up, ball dangler?
But yeah, so if anybody thinks they would want to vote for Gavin Newsom as someone that lived under him for many years now, life is just well, it's interesting. Okay, if you want an interesting life and have to deal with this kind of stuff. If you
want to find out what it's like to have somebody poop in your front yard
100%,
and you get in trouble for it, get ready for it.
If you want a more adventurous lifestyle. Because I couldn't believe, like, in the restaurant.
Yeah, just wander in. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because they're not there.
Yeah, they're not there. Nobody really paying attention, and they're just coming by, and all of a sudden, like, boom.
But they're not. They have no idea what's going on in their world.
No,
they're just living whatever is going on in their moment at that time.
100%. I felt sorry for it, and like, but it's like I don't want to talk to you about my family.
Yeah,
just random lady off the street. You go and yell at God as you push your cart down the way.
So weird, dude.
It's sad.
It's sad.
All right, go do your
you go do your thing, and I will talk to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.